Okay, good morning, 大家好。I think still 早晨, right? Okay, so this is the first time I'm in a PyCon event. I'm representing MySQL. I've been a sponsor for this event for quite some time now. But absolutely a pleasure to be back in Hong Kong again. I was in the open source conference earlier in July, so this is like second time in like 3-4 months. But it's always a pleasure to be back here. Okay, so when I first asked to submit a topic for this event, no-brainer, right? Gen AI is the topic that I want to talk about. So today I'm going to focus on how you can use the MySQL 9.0, our latest version, to develop a Gen AI application. I think AI has come a long way. And when you talk to people, ask people AI, what do you mean by AI? People will tell you, oh, it's ChatGPT, right? But it's actually not really, ChatGPT. So, but then ChatGPT make it so popular that people, equate AI to be ChatGPT. I think most of us use LLM, right? ChatGPT, Cohere, or anything else. I used it. So when I want to know how to build a MySQL clusters on Linux, I use LLM, and it gave me a very good summary of information that I need. But you can't always trust the content, the answer provided by ChatGPT. And most of the time, the syntax, the command, the function, it's not 100% correct. But it gives you a good summary. So always cross-check. So that's why this new breed of a generated AI application come along to supplement this shortcoming of LLM. People call it hallucination, right? Because you can't really, it's point-in-time kind of data trained in LLM. So just yesterday, just to prove my point is correct, so I logged into LLM, and then asked who's the president of the United States. So the answer, guess what, right? So it's not Trump, it's still Joe Biden. So that's, so just generate the AI is due to supplement this shortcoming. So there are two things I want to talk about today. So when I first got this topic, I was working with customers in a project. They have this legacy application. They want to migrate. What they migrated to MySQL. However, they encounter lots of challenges. So this is a dashboard application that user will log in, and then they have a menu to pick whatever data they want. And they have this framework, a custom-built SQL generation framework. So based on the data they want to find out about the customers, for example, shipment from Korea to Hong Kong, and product and categories, and from this day to that day. So that input into the generation framework. And the framework store all these SQL parts in a table. So based on the data elements they selected, it will generate this huge SQL statement, and then throws it out to MySQL. So part of this project, our job is to optimize those query that is non-performing. By non-performing, I mean it takes about at least 30 minutes to get the result. So customers are not gonna stand this 30 minutes to get the result. In fact, they want to reduce it to less than 5 seconds. So no matter what we do, right? We tuning the table indexes, look at the execution plan. We can do so much. Ultimately, we convince the customers that, hey, you need to change the framework because it's just doing so much work. The query is just not performing. It's scanning too much pages. It's doing a lot of redundant work. So optimizing is the only way to improve. So after this, we are at the tail end of this project, and that's why it's a good topic to talk about whether we can use AI, such as LLM, to substitute this application framework, so that instead of user, choosing the data, can we ask user to just tell the system to say, tell me, about this product, get whatever information you need, send to a framework, generate the SQL, hopefully in an optimized fashion that execute well, on MySQL. So I look around and I found LangChain, which is a AI framework that allows you to build using LLM to build such application. Okay, so so in my the next 30 minutes, we'll talk about LangChain, and I'll be using the LLM hosted in the Oracle Cloud. I think in the speaker earlier, AWS, you talk about various model. So I'm not talking. So in this talk, I'm not talking about how to deploy the LLM, but rather, how to utilize the LLM on the cloud to develop something, a Gen AI application on MySQL. So if you haven't come across LangChain, it's getting very popular. So you can go to the web and LangChain to look at the state of AI and the some of this popular LLM. And these are the framework of LangChain. Essentially, is using the core of it is using the LLM that allows you to generate embeddings and be able to also summarizing the content for you. And part of the LangChain, there are two types of packages that you can use to develop the application. So of course, this PyCon event, I'll focus on the Python. But if you are into other, you can also use the JavaScript packages. So essentially, there are these core packages, which provide a language for you to string the component together. And then there's this community packages, such as Cohere and in Oracle, our chat model, which allows you to build the application on the Oracle Cloud. And these are the few components that we will examine in more detail, how you can build this LLM application on MySQL. Okay, so a LangChain application would consist of all these different components, right? A prompt that fit in the questions, and then the LLM component, which is a core, that allows you to interpret the questions and then generate the content. And lastly is the database component that talks to the MySQL. Okay, so in the LangChain, essentially there are two types of packages that you can use. One is the agent, and the other is a chain that talks to a database and then generate the SQL for you. So I'm going to talk about all these four components so that you have a view of, experiment with this if you are interested. Okay, so first thing first, you're going to have a API key to the LLM. So I've tested on Cohere, but I have a little bit problem of using OpenAI. I'm not so sure, but I don't have time to troubleshoot. But using Cohere is quite straightforward. In terms of tooling, I'm using VS Code, but you could use any other editor that you want. And also Jupyter Notebook is another good choice. So if you are Python, you need to install it as a component. So these are the few things that you need to install: LangChain, LangChain core, community, and well, you can do away with the experimental because these are, not mature. But if you want to play with it, it's good. Okay, so for Cohere, very quick, very easily, just log in, get a trial account, and then generate a API key. So these are all you need to do to use Cohere. And same goes for OpenAI. I think you get $5 for trial, but I can never use it, but I'm not too sure why. But I think there's a issue in Hong Kong, right? Because you can't really use it. Yeah. Anyway, but you can use Cohere. Okay, so Cohere, you need to set it up in your environment, the key. Once you set it up, it's very easy to do. So first up, I'm using the experimental SQL database chain. You need to instantiate the database object, and then just set up the DB chain with the Cohere model. So this is the model, and then instantiate with this large language model. Okay, so talk is cheap. Just put it in action so that you can take a look. So I'm using the Jupyter in VS Code. Yeah, on 3.9. I know it's a bit old, but it works. Yeah, so you can just specify the key and then import the packages. Yes? Okay. Oh, camera. Okay.
Yeah, you can continue.
Okay, so yeah, so the LangChain, the database, and then instantiate the database connection. And once you've done that, you can then find out more about the database structure. And you could look at the database variant. So in this case, I'm connecting to MySQL, which tells you that this is MySQL. And then you could get information about the table structure. Yeah. So that's just basic, database crawling. Just a couple of simple code. Sorry. Just want to fast forward a little bit. Okay. So these are all just database stuff. But once you have got it instantiated, and this is the fun part that I really want to get to this, right? That you can throw the question to the SQL chain and then get the data that you want, right? So this is all embedded and coded into the database chain object. So in this case, I'm asking how many customers are there, in the database? Right? So there are 599 customers, and then it tells you the SQL statement. And if you validate that with the database, yeah, surely, that's 599 in the table. Okay, so the experimental has been good, but I did not try it on a larger number of tables. Yeah, but you can give it a go. The second is to, you can always use a own SQL chain. And this is more elaborate where you can customize the question prompt, and then you can change the various components, be able to, format the output for your requirement. Okay, so again, quick demo on this. So depending on the the packages, you need to import it, the right package. So you can see that I have a lot more stuff to do. Like for example, a function to get the database, the schema, and also setting up the query prompt. You can have a different type of query prompt that you can build. And you can also, string the, chains differently according to your needs. Okay. Okay, I just want to fast forward to the end so that you can get the result. Okay, again, the question is, how many employees again in a company, right? So again, it's 30,024. So this is a different table, so it gives you the different result. So again, here you can see that the questions, the answer that return is more elaborate, including the SQL that generated. Okay, so thirdly is the agent. Right? There's also another method called the SQL agent. It's like a mini worker that you can send it out to the database. You'll crawl the table structure, then it will come back and tells you how to execute the SQL based on your question. So I think this is kind of cool because it's like, back during the boom days of .com, right? There always this web crawler to crawl the internet and then get you the data. Similar concept. So it goes to the database, discover the structure, discover the relationship, and then come back with the data and the result that you want. Okay, so just to show you how this works a bit differently. Again, the packages import is the same as usual. Oh. Unplug. Want to unplug or? Oh, okay, 有了. Okay. Okay, let me just just continue the play. Okay, so the instantiation is just using the SQL create SQL agent, but take note of how go in there and get you the information, right? So it says it is able to get the go in there and be able to discover the table structure and then generate the SQL generate the result. Okay, the last part is just cross-check. The SQL statement is really correct. Okay, sure enough, it's still 30,024 employees. Okay, so the last part is really the SQL query change, which is another package to execute and also discover the table structure and get the result. It's similar to the previous, but I didn't record any video for you. And I've been showing you the Jupyter notebook, which is it's good for just testing and quick API testing. But in order for you to develop something interesting, you can look at Streamlit, which I discovered, which is a quite easy way of creating a web-based kind of chatbot application using LangChain and also MySQL. So you can build this, web GUI. It's still very basic, but it's GUI, right? So you can make use of the web browser and then access the chat application. So how many employees? Again, it tells you that 30,024. And because of using LLM, you can use different languages. Right, so I'm from Malaysia, so I'm just using a bit of a Malay language So ada berapa pekerja, right? That's okay. So you translate into, and then get the data that I want, right? So even though it's not English. And of course, you can put in Chinese, right? But in this case, yeah, so you get the same result as well. But you can see that there's a 4, that's not really correct. So if you change it a little bit, the question prompt, it tells you, the correct answer. I don't know why, but it seems like this is experimental, right? So, but again, you can see that changing the prompt will get you the result that you want. And then you can see that this query is a bit more advanced, right? Because you know how to calculate the age, using the birthday and then doing the conversion and things. So it's very promising. So I think if you work in database, MySQL, it's a good way of using experiment LangChain with MySQL. Okay, so I have 5 minutes left. I will talk about the Gen AI using the MySQL 9.0. Okay, so this demo is really a microservices API calls to the Cohere model. And then I have the document that I want to supplement LLM stored in the MySQL 9.0 as in a vector store. Okay, so embedding, it's just a list of floating points that we convert from your text document into the database. That's how we store, and then it gets compared with the question prompt so that you can get the similar document and context out from the database. So this is the structure of the MySQL vector store. You can see that we support the embedding natively in the vector data type. And in order to load the data into the vector store, you can download the MySQL shell plugin into the VS Code, and you can then very easily load your PDF, your text document into MySQL 9.0, and then you'll do the conversion, convert the text into embedding for you. Okay, because of time, I'm going to fast forward a little bit. So this is selecting the PDF file from my local drive, and then specifying the table in the MySQL 9.0. So this is where it would convert into the embeddings and then store into the vector store. So just a bit on the structure, right? So the PDF will get converted into the table, and then it would be broken down into different segments. Each segment is a list of these floating points embeddings. And then this is nothing but numbers. So don't try to interpret this. Right? But this captures all the semantics and things that we use in the similarity search. So within the MySQL 9.0, we have this distant API calls that you can compare the two embeddings. And this is how we retrieve the data for you from your own private knowledge base. Okay, so lastly, the result. So all these things is just to show you how this works, right? So because this is a microservices, I'm using curl to call the API. And first up, I just want to use the LLM. I'm asking who is Larry Ellison. Okay, so Larry is our great CTO, founders. And then secondly, then I'll search the one that I want to search, from the document that I load in, which is the migration, a technical document. So how do I export data from RDS, right, to us, right, to Oracle? So you go into the embeddings, and then it tells you the relevant information. Okay, so so this is all the knowledge, all this data that's stored in the MySQL vector store. Okay, so with that, I want to summarize my little experiment with LangChain. So if you want to deploy this, think about the security, think about the validating the queries, whether the is generated correctly. And in terms of the different model or different packages that I use, again, the experimental is not mature, tested. SQL agent is good, but you need to have a good prompt to get the right answer. Custom, you get all your freedom, flexible of building your own custom SQL chain. And then the SQL query chain is quite easy to use. Okay, so I collected some reference for you to take a look. Things I didn't forgot to put in here is that you can log on to the Oracle Cloud to sign up for a trial account, which you can get access to the MySQL database in the Oracle Cloud. So even though the free trial is over in the free tier, you can also use that MySQL instance in Oracle Cloud. So with that, thank you so much. Time is up. I'll be outside if you have any question. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.